Pain is a key to the human experience, some of which are trepidation and loneliness. Two excellent characters that tackle these topics are Holo from Spice and Wolf and Beatrice from ReZero. To begin, we'll start with Holo. Holo is a wolf deity who presides over the village of Pazlo. Despite safeguarding the village for hundreds of years and bringing bountiful wheat harvests, her original deal with a boy from the village faded into oblivion. Doubt replaced reverence as the memory of her deal faded. The villagers relegated her to folktales, phrases, harvest festivals, and games. Holo was utterly alone, unloved by the villagers who see her as a fickle god and fear her wolf form, forgotten by the villagers as the tides of technology usher bountiful harvests, much larger and far more profitable than she had brought. The village had abandoned her after they decided she had no use. Holo is deeply emotive of her crippling loneliness. In one instance, she cries in Lawrence's arms, fearing that he may leave her once he reaches his goal of opening his own shop. In another, while she is resting during her fever, she dreamed of being home. She is surrounded by the wintry landscapes of Yoitz with her companions. Behind her, she saw Lawrence, running to him excited. The wind blows, and Lawrence is no longer there, replaced with a pile of bones as her world shreds itself into a blanket of red. She wakes up in tears, alone. From her penchant for alcohol and good food to her jealousy, fear, and anxiety, Holo expresses many human characteristics. For instance, Holo gets increasingly bitter against Nora when Lawrence speaks of her. She becomes anxious when those she cares about are not around her, and when she is experiencing emotion she is not accustomed to. Holo feels comfortable when held in the embrace of loved ones, but paralyzed with fear and trepidation by the fact that she will outlive everyone around her. The terror Holo feels is best manifested in episode 17, where she confronts Lawrence. In her eyes, the bond she shared with Lawrence is shattered due to his hesitancy to inform her of the grave fate of her home, and the friends she had never given a proper farewell. This scene is a brilliant portrayal of Holo's anxiety and, dare I say, her humanity. As she confronts him, she becomes hostile and contorts Lawrence's intentions as memories course through her mind as him either taking pity on her or treating her like a toy whom he sought to soon throw away after being used. Lawrence's hesitancy to answer Holo's questions about who she is to him drives her to mania, and with a twisted, twitching smile, she asks him to, in her own words, mate with her so that she would not be alone because she would have a child. Lawrence gets frustrated with Holo as her once wise and proud countenance turns to desperation and dread. While she laughs at the verge of tears, we witness the terror she feels from being alone. As a near immortal, her fear of loneliness can be equated to that of death.
Loneliness is a disease that can lead to death. They might as well be the same thing.
Loneliness, as well as the fear of what's to come, holds Beatrice a prisoner within her own mind, suffering from a similar yet different pain. Beatrice is a spirit that has lived hundreds of years, and is very well the idea of a 400-year-old child is pervasive throughout the medium. One of Tape Nagatsky, the author of ReZero's greatest strength is his ability to turn tropes into absolute sincerity, and Beatrice's character writing is a prime example of this, not only with her powerful humanization, but with her numerous heartfelt moments that make it impossible not to sympathize with her pain. Beatrice keeps people out. Rather than panicking from her trepidation like Holo from the offset, she finds it easier to prevent herself from making these emotional connections in the first place, deciding that losing someone she cares about is far worse than crippling loneliness. She forms this twisted form of acceptance in her situation, essentially giving up on life. Except not entirely. Every day, every single day, for hundreds of years, Beatrice stood in front of the door to her library that she swore to her mother to protect, hoping, wishing for someone something to get her out of there. She had held relationships prior, those with her mother, Ryuzu, and Roswell A. Maylers. But any time to say goodbye will feel too soon for anyone. For each and every one of them, there was an eventual farewell. But this is a feeling shared between all humans. And the same as Holo, Beatrice is very much a human by my standards. All of us will eventually have to say goodbye to a loved one, and there will never be a time in which we are fine with it. She had thought that this boy may be the one to save her. The one that grew enough through his arduous trials that allow him to see through the wall that she constructed to keep others out, and one that sees through the trickery of her doors each time. It's true, he will never understand the pain of living nearly half a millennium in solitude, but that's not the point. Subaru will be with her. The day she fears will eventually come, but he rejects the idea of a tortured complacency, shouting in the face of modern nihilistic ideals, fighting for meaning and purpose. But even after all this, she has to be the one that decides that life is worth living. She has to be the one that gets herself out of there. The cure to loneliness is not just the presence of others, but their continued effort to help and support you through any fork in the road or any impossible choice. Subaru can never know her exact feelings, but his steadfast and everlasting support mends the deep wounds of hundreds of years, and she can enjoy the days that will be because she made the decision.
夏木スバルって男が永遠って時間の中でもセピア色にならないぐらい鮮烈な男だったんだってこと。
Humans are intertwined with this deeper feeling of loneliness. Let me just put this out there. No one is alone in it. This may seem like an oxymoron, but everyone, even if we may not share the exact reasons nor circumstance, knows this feeling. Not just loneliness, but also the fear of what's to come. What is the point of pushing forward in a world shrouding in meaninglessness? What is the point of getting out of bed every day, knowing that each day will be the same as the last? What is the point of anything? There is inherently no meaning to our world, but that's what gives us power. The power to choose meaning, to disregard the cruel fate of the universe, and even fight back against any so-called inevitable fates. And the power to love and cherish those around us despite anything that may come. Because that's what makes life truly worth living.